Hey guys, Sarak here, and today I'm going to bring you another fun little budget deck that I've put together. It's the start of me cramming branded in everything because it's really good and really cheap. So today we're going to look at Evil Eye branded. Now Evil Eye is a bit of an underrated archetype. It focuses on some equip spells that give your monsters protection, huge amounts of attack, and powers up their monster effects. So let's get into the profile. We start with the main man himself, 3 copies of Serziel, Watcher of the Evil Eye. If it's normal summoned, add 1 Evil Eye card from your deck to your hand, any Evil Eye card except itself. If it's equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, as a quick effect, target 1 special summoned monster your opponent controls, destroy it. You can only use this effect of Serziel once per turn, and then during the next standby phase, destroy 1 card you control. Now, it's very easy to exploit this because most of your Evil Eye equips all recycle themselves. Mirror Jade can obviously just be summoned straight back out again using another copy of Branded Fusion. The field spell doesn't really matter once we've got the loop in play, and a lot of the Evil Eye monsters have abilities to summon themselves back from the grave. So it's very easy to exploit the destroying a card you control effect to essentially not take any negative advantage from it. This is the main card in the deck. It's the card that we want to see. We then have 2 copies of Medusa, Watcher of the Evil Eye. If it's normal summoned, target an Evil Eye card in the graveyard except itself, add it to your hand, and then if it's equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, and then during your standby phase, banish 1 card from your graveyard. Again, this gives us a nice little bit of recycling, allows us to get the equipped spells back from the graveyard if we destroy them with Serziel, and again gives us a nice little bit of graveyard hate to interact with our opponents. Less important than Serziel, obviously, because generally a quick effect pop is better than a quick effect banish, but both can still be very useful. We then have 1 Basilius, Familiar of the Evil Eye. If you control an Evil Eye monster, special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon it once per turn this way. And during your turn, send 1 Evil Eye spell trap from your deck to the graveyard. This is a very easy way of setting up to get Selene into rotation. If Serziel was Ash Blossomed, you can special summon this, bring out, dump Selene or Gorgoneo into the bin, and immediately add it straight back to your hand that way. Very useful way of getting those cards back. Again, another way, if we destroy Serziel, it's another way of putting Gorgoneo or Selene into the bin, so we can immediately recycle them back to the hand. And it's just another free body that we can use. Finally, we have 1 Katobalpa, Familiar of the Evil Eye, or Kati Bleeple Pasta for anyone who understands that reference. You can target 1 Evil Eye spell trap you control until the end of next turn, cannot be destroyed by card effects. If you control an Evil Eye monster other than itself while this card is in your graveyard, special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. This gives us a nice little bit of extension, a monster we can send with Branded Fusion as a sort of freebie to special summon to give us another body that we can then pop the next turn. Just a very all-round useful card, but only useful in specific situations, which is why we only need 1 copy. Then we have 2 copies of Fallen of Albaz. We know what this card does by now. It's played in absolutely everything, so just get used to it. It helps us break the opponent's board with its on-summon effect, and obviously it's the main material for our fusion monsters that we need. So, and then finally for our monsters, we finish off with 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Very simple hand trap. You know what this card does. You know what this card does. Don't tell me you don't know what this card does. For our spells, we have 3 Evil Eye of Selene. Equip only to an Evil Eye monster. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, and cannot be targeted with card effects. Each time you activate the equipped monster's effect or another Evil Eye spell trap card, it gains 500 attack and you lose 500 life points. The attack remains even if this card leaves the field. If this card is in the graveyard, banish 1 Evil Eye spell trap from your graveyard except itself, set this card. So again, this gives us an easy way to recycle itself. The attack gain is permanent, so it doesn't matter if we pop this, we don't lose access to the attack boost, and it obviously recycles itself very easily. Pairing with Selene, we have Evil Eye of Gorgoneo. Evil Eye of Gorgoneo becomes Evil Eye of Selene when it's in the spell trap zone. While your life points are lower than your opponent's, the equipped monster gains attack equal to the difference. Banish this card from the graveyard, discard one Evil Eye card, add one Evil Eye spell trap from your deck to your hand. So you can see that dumping Evil Eye of Gorgoneo and Evil Eye of Selene gives you easy ways of accessing them either from the deck or from the graveyard, just at the cost of discarding another Evil Eye card, such as Kotobel Pass, if you drew it. So you can see how the resource loop of the deck works. You pop your Evil Eye spell traps, then you re-equip them the next turn. Or the same turn, because you pop in the standby phase. 3 copies of Evil Eye Domain Pareidolia. When this card is activated, add 1 Evil Eye monster from your deck to your hand. Very, very simple. Lovely ash bait. Yeah. When your Evil Eye monster is attacked, if Evil Eye Selene is in your spell and trap zone, your opponent also will take the battle damage. If this card is destroyed by card effect, you can target 1 Evil Eye monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Again, another really, really easy card that we can pop to not lose any advantage and just recycle our cards out of our graveyard and keep it going. Also, the inflicting the battle damage to your opponent is really, really funny and can just cause your opponent to lose the game right there. So that's also funny, and it baits Ash Blossom. 1 Evil Eye Confrontation. We're just playing this because it's a searchable spell trap removal. That's the only reason we're playing this rather than Cosmic or Twin Twisters. It's just because we can search it, and it's just a free Evil Eye name for discarding or so on if we need to get hold of it. But that's the only reason we're playing this over literally any other spell trap removal. 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. This is an Extravagance deck. Ideally, it would be Prosperity, but again, we know how much Prosperity costs, and we know how much Extravagance costs now. Again, banish 3 cards or 6 cards from your extra deck face down. At random, draw 1 card for each 3 banished cards. Cannot draw cards by any card effects after this card resolves. This digs us deeper, gets us towards Branded Fusion, gets us towards our Evil Eye cards, baits Ash Blossom. It's really, really simple. And just digs us that 2 cards deeper that we sometimes need, or gets us closer to Floodgates. 3 copies of Branded Fusion. You could have seen this coming. Again, you probably know what this does now. We're summoning Lubellion with this, then we're immediately fusing it into a Mirror Jade. We don't care about our link monsters in this deck, so we don't care about the fusion restriction. We are hardly ever making the link monsters. If we're making the link monsters, we're probably in a really, really good position at that point. So Branded Fusion has very little downside for this deck. And again, helps bait Ash Blossom, or the rest of the deck baits the Ash Blossom, then the Branded Fusion goes through, and your opponent is still facing down Mirror Jade Tikaboo. So, very, very simple. And now, you'll hate me for playing this, but 1 copy of Mystic Mine. This card is so good, again, in a deck where we probably have 2 monsters on the field at most. It's another target we can pop, so we can turn it off at will, and it just, yeah, really, really helps us get through those really, really gummy boards that our opponent will put up to stop us. Just locks them into silly plays, stops them from doing things. It's an unfun card, but it's really, really good. And we're playing Evil Eye, so our opponent can't complain for us using Floodgates. 1 Call by the Grave, because every card in this deck can be hit with Ash Blossom, so we play the Call by the Grave to deal with the Ash Blossom. 1 Terraforming, because it finds us Pareidolia, or it finds us Mystic Mine, and it baits Ash Blossom. 1 Set Rotation, because it finds us Pareidolia, it finds us Mystic Mine, and it baits Ash Blossom, if I can even speak. The deck really, really likes its field spells, and also getting Mystic Mine out of the deck is really, really useful. For our traps, we have 2 copies of Evil Eye Defeat. This is a compulse if you control an Evil Eye monster, but if you have Selene on the field, it's a double compulse. It's a fantastic form of disruption, really, really strong card, and again, it's searchable with cards like serziel and so on if we already drew the Selene. So yes, just double compulse, really, really strong card, and that's all there really is to say about it. Next, we have 2 Evil Eye Retribution. This is a spell trap negate. Again, it's searchable if it's in the spell and trap zone. If Evil Eye of Selene is in the spell and trap zone, your opponent cannot respond to it by negating it. So yeah, this can't be judgmented if you have Selene in the spell trap zone. Phenomenal card, stops the really, really powerful equalizers like Lightning Storm, stops your opponent from responding with things like talents to try regain some advantage, stops your opponent from hitting you with forbidden droplets unless they send a trap. It's a phenomenal card to use as a form of interaction. 3 there can be only one. We're going to have 1 fiend and 1 worm on the side of the field most of the time. If our opponent's playing literally any other deck in the format, then they're going to find it really, really hard to get through There Can Be Only One, unless they're maining Cosmic Cyclone. Again, it's another card that we can very easily pop with serziel on our turn, because we don't care about it on our turn if we can end the game that turn, or put them so far behind that they can't come back. 2 Solemn Strike, because negating summons and monster effects is important, and this deck can sometimes struggle with those things. But again, you know what Solemn Strike does, and it also lowers our life points, which can be funny for Evil Eye of Gorgonea. And finally, 1 Metaverse, because activating Mystic Mine on our opponent's turn is really, really funny. And again, it's another easy form of interruption that we can use to just stop an opponent's turn in their tracks, and then immediately turn it off the next turn. So that is the main deck. The extra deck is really, really quick because it's an Extravagance deck. We play 2 copies of Serziel, Ruler of the Evil-Eyed. If this card was link summoned using a monster with 26,000 or higher attack, 2,600, not 26,000, it can make a second attack. If it's equipped with Selene, target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. And then if it, during the next standby phase, negate the effect of 1 effect monster this card points to. We are very rarely making this. We don't need this very often. It's just in here as Extravagance fodder, and it sometimes helps end the game. Similarly, 2 copies of Gorgon, Empress of the Evil Eyes. Again, 2 monsters including an Evil Eye monster. Gains 100 attack for each Evil Eye card with different names. If it's equipped with Selene, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls to negate its effect, and then during the next standby phase, destroy 1 monster it points to. Again, this is sometimes useful because it's a quick effect negation. We are very rarely summoning this. We don't care if it's banished with Extravagance. Probably the link monster we will summon most often is Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. This obviously is an incredible card at the moment because of so much despia and so much DPE. It allows us to steal our opponent's DPE, it allows us to steal their despia monsters, we can even steal their Mirror Jade if we really want to. It's quite amusing. So this will probably be the link monster we summon most often, but again, we don't really mind if it's banished with Extravagance. And then for the branded part of the extra deck, we are playing 3 Mirror Jade. Yeah, this card's insane. Quick effect banish that doesn't target, we can pop it, and then summon another one if we need, so we can banish again on our turn. It blows up the field if our opponent destroys it, and it's really, really easy to summon with Branded Fusion. We play 3 because we're maxing out on it for Extravagance. Similarly, we have 3 Lubellion. Again, we're maxing out on this for Extravagance purposes. This is the most common one we will summon, because we'll send cards like Cartobalpass to that gives us another free body back onto the field. Then we have 2 copies of Albion the Branded Dragon. This is here mainly as one of our send targets, allowing us to search Branded Fusion for the next turn play. And then our other send target for Mirror Jade is Titaniclad, allowing us to search Albaz for helping break the opponent's board, and as the most generic one to fuse into with albaz. So that is the deck. It is incredibly cheap, and it might be very fun for you to play, but I guarantee your opponents will not have any fun, which might be what you're looking for in a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. But that is the deck. I hope you enjoyed the profile, and I hope to see you again soon, where I cram branded in every single other engine known to mankind. Thanks for watching.